Good afternoon, everyone. What really, truly, it is a good afternoon. Look at how beautiful this is and how beautiful it will remain because of the work that has been done. I'm always happy to be back here in Zion, and especially so when we get to celebrate the preservation of such a treasured outdoor space. Illinois Beach State Park is one of the many natural beauties that make our state very special, with dunes and swales, sprawling marshes, forests of oak, and vast arrays of animal life and vegetation, and of course, the last remaining natural shoreline in Illinois. And I'm so proud and grateful that we could all come together to protect it. I first want to thank some of the many folks who have worked tirelessly to plan and execute this project. You already heard from Director Natalie Phelps-Finney, but I also want to recognize her for her leadership. Heads of agencies don't go to all the projects that are being done by their agencies and worked on, but when you're head of the Department of Natural Resources and you care about all of the sites of the state and conservation, you do that, and that is what Director Finney has done, and her entire staff, really outstanding people who for many years have been understaffed and only recently have been increasing the number of staff and also focusing on all of our state parks and the projects that need to get done across Illinois. So thank you, Director Finney, for all the work that you do and all the people that are here from DNR. Director TJ Edwards and the outstanding team at the Capital Development Board, you can imagine that when you pass a massive infrastructure bill in 2019, as we did, the number of projects that had been neglected for decades in Illinois that finally the state has gotten around to investing in, well, the Capital Development Board is the first in line to get the work done before anybody else can do anything. So I want to thank Director Edwards and the entire Capital Development Board and staff. My partners in the General Assembly, you know, when you send leaders to represent you, you get results. And so I want to thank Senator Mary Edley Allen and Representative Joyce Mason, who are here today, and their colleagues who made this possible. And I don't want to forget the folks at Michael's Construction and Living Habitats, because none of this gets done without the people who are actually working every single day late into the night, as was mentioned. Right here on the front lines of protecting this precious natural resource are some of the outstanding local leaders that you all know well. Lake County Board Chair Sandy Hart, Zion Mayor Billy McKinney, Winthrop Harbor Mayor Michael Bruno, Beach Park Mayor John Hucker, and a few others who aren't here. Lastly, I want to make a special mention of my friend, the former state senator, Melinda Bush, whose advocacy started years ago. She helped to secure the funding for this project. And sometimes when you leave office, having put in place all the elements that would be necessary to accomplish something, but you don't get to be there for the final unveiling of it all, but she is. And I just think it's important to recognize and thank her for her persistence and for making this a real priority. Yeah. The size and strength of this collective of leaders speaks to what a tall order this project was to begin with. Just a few short years ago, the natural lakefront was eroding, in some places at more than 100 feet per year, and there was a very real possibility that we could lose it forever. That would have put critical ecosystems at risk and also prevented so many visitors and local residents from enjoying all the beauty and recreation that the state park has to offer. But thanks to, again, many of the people in this room, both behind me and in front of me, Illinoisans will be able to visit this lakefront here for generations to come, and will keep this habitat and the local economy flourishing. Accomplishing all of that is an incredible feat in and of itself, but we didn't stop there, because when we do something in Illinois, we try to do it right. And this project marks the first one in the Midwest to achieve waterfront edge design guidelines verification, WEDGE it's called, which recognizes and scores resilient, ecological, and accessible waterfront projects. Even further, independent specialists found it actually exceeded that verification, earning the gold standard for projects of this kind. And don't just take my word for it, ask the experts. The project earned the 2024 Best Restored Beach Award through the American Shore and Beach Preservation Association, and that is a testament to the incredible hard work and passion of the people who are here today. I'm always proud of our great state. I especially want us to lead. I always, in fact, whenever you see rankings of states for different things, and Illinois isn't ranked at the top, I'm always thinking, how do we get to the top of that list? I'm a competitive sort, so the idea that we did a project here that has been recognized throughout the United States as the best, I think that's something we should all be proud of. So what does it mean? It means more families making cherished and lifelong memories, more visitors from across the state and around the world contributing to the local economy, more protection for our treasured ecosystem here. That's the impact that has been made by all of you. When the General Assembly and I worked to pass the Rebuild Illinois program back in 2019, much of the discussion was focused on infrastructure projects like roads and bridges and airports, which are important too, but rebuilding our natural infrastructure is just as vital to our economy and our future and to the families and children who will enjoy the benefits of it for generations. I want to thank you all for your tireless efforts to protect and revitalize our state parks, forest preserves, and our outdoor recreation opportunities. Because of the dedication, the energy, the passion of people in this room, Illinois is becoming the best state in the nation for conservation and outdoor recreation, and I'm very proud to be your partner in this work. And with that, I'll hand this podium over to, a powerful force in our efforts to rebuild Illinois, and that's the director of the Capital Development Board, TJ Edwards. TJ?
I'm a little short. Well, good afternoon. I am absolutely excited and elated to be here to represent the Illinois Capital Development Board in this incredible honor to be together to celebrate the completion of the Illinois Beach State Park Shoreline Stabilization Project. And it is a tongue twister. Thank you, Director Finney and the Department of Natural Resources for your just continued collaboration, partnership, and leadership and advocacy for our state resources. I want to thank you for your partnership in getting us here to this day. I'd like to also thank our governor for his leadership and his advocacy for really identifying the need and going out and fighting for it on behalf of all of his constituents. And obviously we have to thank our Illinois General Assembly for passing the Rebuild Illinois Capital Program, the largest investment in infrastructure in the state's history. Rebuild Illinois, when you think about Capital Development Board, we always think about the vertical construction that we do, but this project really touched public parks. It touched the Illinois beach, which boasts amazing recreational opportunities and critical Lake Michigan ecology. With almost 700 active projects that our agency is responsible for leading for the state of Illinois, this beach project is entirely unique. It really set us apart and really allowed us to innovate. The design, build, delivery method has never been involved in a waterfront restoration project in Illinois until now. The project required collaboration with specialists in landscape architecture, geotechnical engineering, habitat and coastal design, and innovative construction solutions. The partners on this project, I'd be remiss to not mention, are American Surveying and Engineering LTD, Collins Engineering, Living Habitats LLC, Michaels Construction Incorporated, Moffitt and Nickel, Smith Group, and Wang Engineering. Can we get a round of applause for them? Thank you. And I want to do a special thank you to CDB's project manager, Mark Jones. Mark, wave your hand. Yes. Thank you, Mark, for your efficiency demonstrated on this project, for being a great collaborator and a team member in getting this project done. The scope of work of this project involved 22 offshore stone breakwaters in 3 locations within the park. As you look out there, you can see the breakwaters. The breakwaters reduce wave energy, which preserves the natural shoreline and combats ongoing erosion. The breakwaters are also designed to enhance the surrounding ecosystems by providing under and overwater habitat elements for native species. Despite its complexity, this project was completed successfully, under budget, with minimal delays, and that's a feat in itself. And last but not least, this project has been nationally recognized for enhancing biodiversity, repurposing available materials throughout construction, and creating a solution for shoreline resiliency. As our governor stated, really, Illinois is leading the effort in innovation and uniqueness in how we deliver and how we think about how we deliver our projects. And last but not least, an American visual artist, Andy Warhol, once said, "Land really is the best art." I'm proud that CDB and DNR took a small piece of that in preserving our art and our history. Thank you.
All right, let's see. I want to make sure, that's all right. Where are you? Mayor Billy McKinney.
What a blessing and an honor it is to be here this afternoon for this momentous occasion. As much as I would like to make a lot of comments, I have to say my esteemed colleague, Governor Pritzker, Director Finney, Nelson Finney, and Director Edwards, you took all my comments, so I don't have anything to say. It's always tough to follow up great speakers. I've been an admirer of all these heads of these agencies for such a long time. If that's Kamala Harris, tell her I'll call her back a little bit this afternoon. Just such an honor to be here and have this project take place here in our area. As a resident that has grown up here since well, some of my department heads would tell you that I was here before the lake was even formed. I like that. But to have this project and how it impacts our communities, the Northeast Illinois community, that sometimes as the mayor's here, we feel like over the years, maybe it's been forgotten. But with the legislation and the leadership of Governor Pritzker, we've seen great things happen here over the last 10 years. One of those is the breakwaters that have been installed, the 22, and let me tell you how they impact us. As I was listening to the presentation earlier, the breakwaters that have been installed, 22, before that, they impacted our water intake plant, which is on 17th Street. And how that affects the water that's distributed to Winthrop Harbor, to Beach Park, to Zion, and the marina, the North Point Arena, and to Wadsworth. So without that work being done, there was huge potential for our water supply to be disrupted. Hosa Park, one of our great treasures here in the city, I've watched over the last 10 years since I've been back, watched the boardwalk be washed out. A great place for everyone to come and look at birds and the wildlife in the area and just to enjoy the beach. One of the things that I try to do on a pretty regular basis is I come down to the lake and I'll buy a lunch at one of the local restaurants and come sit out in the parking lot and just look at the lake and look at the beauty. And it's something that we sometimes take for granted. And over the last 8 to 10 years, I've had the honor and privilege of working with the Mayor's Commission on Water Equity as well as the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Cities Initiative, an initiative binational of over 300 cities that was formed to protect the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence waterways. Restoration of the beach fronts and the lake fronts is essential to us, the habitat that's here, and for all of the erosion. When you talk about 100 feet per year, I can go back to looking at Highway 173, which comes in from the toll road down to the lake. When I was growing up here many years ago, it went all the way down to the lake and there were restaurants and homes there. That's not the case anymore. So this summer, being able to come out to Illinois Beach State Park and look at our residents enjoying the lakefront and any event that we have here, I think sometimes we take this background for granted. And as I close on my remarks, I want everyone to think about this and how important this project is and what it means to conservation, not only for this area, but what we're doing in the state of Illinois. Look at the water shortages that are taking place out west now. And I can assure you that within the next 10 to 15 years, those people that are struggling with water supplies out west will start to move back to the Great Lakes area. And these projects like this, and protecting our water source, one of our most valuable, precious resources here in Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes area, we've got to continue that fight, because we're going to have people moving back here and wanting to enjoy the natural beauty that that Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes affords of all. So again, thank you to Governor Pritzker and the recognized agencies here that have done such tremendous work. Our state rep and our Senator Joyce Mason and Mariette Lee Allen, and again, Melinda Bush, who have done so much to lay the foundation for this to happen. Thank you for not forgetting the city of Zion, Waukegan, North Chicago, Winthrop Harbor, and Wadsworth in your efforts to rebuild Illinois. Thank you all for being here. And again, before I leave, I had one more thing to say. I want to bring up my colleague, my respected colleague that I work closely with, Mayor Michael Bruno, Dr. Michael Bruno from Winthrop Harbor.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Michael Bruno, the proud mayor of the village of Winthrop Harbor. Joining me today are members of our village board. Governor, we welcome you and our state officials to our beautiful northeast corner of our great state of Illinois. We are truly honored to have you here. I would like to thank you, Governor, and the state legislators in Springfield for your hard work and dedication. The bipartisan Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan is a prime example of the fruits of your labor, which has allowed us to expand our roadway improvement projects and other regional transportation-related projects. We are excited that this region is continuing and will continue to benefit from the Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan. This $73 million Beach State Park Shoreline Stabilization was an investment funded by the capital plan. Unlike anywhere else in Illinois, the communities of Zion, Beach Park, and Winthrop Harbor are blessed with this phenomenal state park and the adjoining Lake County Forest Preserve, Spring Bluff Preserve. The Illinois Beach State Park has miles of shoreline, thousands of forests, dunes, beaches, and a hotel conference center. This area is crisscrossed with hiking and biking trails, unlimited connectivity with other paths and trails extending throughout the Chicagoland area and southeast Wisconsin. The Illinois Beach State Park surrounds the North Point Marina with 1,500 slips. It is ranked among the very largest inland marine in the entire United States. The location of our marine offers a unique setting. It's almost an island where active recreation can meet passive activities to refresh and recharge the soul. These are the reasons why this park has the distinction of having the second highest tourist visits per year in the state. For Winthrop Harbor and the region, the Illinois Beach State Park Shoreline Stabilization Project has gone well beyond preserving our natural shoreline. It has demonstrated the commitment of the state of Illinois to not only protect our natural resources, but also creating economic development opportunities through this project. This project has sparked a renewed excitement about the development potential in Winthrop Harbor and the region. After the first summer season, we have definitely seen a notable increase in visitors, particularly in the new beach. Our enthusiasm has driven Winthrop Harbor to launch new economic development initiatives showcasing this state investment and the endless economic development opportunities in our community and region. This has also recently led to the creation of a new partnership initiative with our lakefront community stakeholders working together to achieve our goals. I would like to recognize some of these partners, stakeholders in this group. State Representative Joyce Mason, thanks for all you do for Winthrop Harbor. Angelo Kyle, President of the Lake County Forest Preserve. John Wilker, IDNR. Damon Cederberg, IDNR. David Parages, North Point Marina. Bill Wood, Skipper Buds, and our village management team. Mayor McKinney and Mayor Hucker, we hope you will join this group. This is another great opportunity for our communities to work together for the betterment of our region. In closing, we thank you, Governor. Once again, I ask for the continued support of the state as we assess and identify the needs of our communities to support the Illinois Beach State Park and Lakefront. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Beach Park Mayor John Hucker.
Well, if Mayor McKinney had a challenge coming up with unique things to say, all I can say is what they said. In all seriousness, I'm privileged to be the mayor of the village of Beach Park. Beach Park is a 35-year-old community named appropriately after the Illinois Beach State Park. We have our entire eastern boundary of our village borders the state park, and this is a very important portion of our economic engine that feeds Beach Park. The million-plus visitors that are down in the North Unit and camping, et cetera, are spending money in our towns and eating at our restaurants, and this is critical for us. I go back about 2012, I believe it was, where we had one heck of a storm that swept through the state park and the village of Beach Park. The very roof of this facility was blown off during that storm, and we experienced some of the most horrendous erosion of the lakefront, as well as a large loss of trees for this park. The park was virtually closed during that time, and we felt it in Beach Park. We felt it, I'm sure, in Zion as well, the absence of the normal goings-ons down here. And so we're excited to see not only that the area has been restored through a lot of work from the DNR, but then to see these breakwaters, which should end the erosion that has been going on ever since. As I think back just a few years ago, the state park parking lot, which is a large parking lot just north of here, sheet pilings had to be installed, at the edge of the parking lot to keep the parking lot from becoming part of the lake. There was about a 6-foot drop off to the beach there, and it's not that way today. All the restoration, all the hard work that has been done, courtesy of the funding provided by our legislature and by our governor, and as well as the hard work of those that were actually placing the stones and trucking in the sand, etc. So from Beach Park's point of view, this has been a godsend to have this beach back, to have this area vibrant again, have more and more of the people that come to this for whether it be the campgrounds, the beaches, the what have you, back. And I think between that and the obvious preservation of the dunes, of the flora and fauna of the area, I think we've got a treasure here that will continue to be a treasure now, thanks to all the improvements that have been done. So that's all I have to say today, and I thank you all for listening to me. And next up, we have Chairwoman Sandy Hart.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It is really such an honor to be here today, and we're so grateful for the governor of our great state to be here and draw attention to the Illinois Beach State Park and this important project. This is not just an important project just for the tourism like we were talking about, but certainly for all of the endangered species and the plants and animals that make this area so important. My apologies if I lose my voice halfway through this, but first I want to say thank you to my colleagues who are here today, Vice Chair Mary Ross Cunningham, Gina Roberts, and Paul Frank, who are here. This is just such an incredibly important project. Today we are standing in the middle of a globally significant habitat. Illinois Beach State Park is part of a 4,800-acre complex known as the Chilwaukee Prairie Illinois Beach Lake Plain. It stretches over 15 miles from North Chicago to the Kenosha Sand Dunes, and this landscape contains the highest quality coastal dune and swale ecosystem in the Southwest Great Lakes. So when we think about why it's important to protect it, just think about that global importance right here tucked away in the corner of the state of Illinois. It is home to 930 native plant species and 300 animal species, including 63 state or federally protected species. And the ecosystem services it provides, such as protecting the drinking water that Mayor McKinney was talking about, that protects the drinking water for more than 30 million people, and it supports human health and the local economy. In 2010, the Lake County Forest Preserves became the lead agency of a newly formed Lake Plain Partners, which was formed to manage the habitat across different jurisdictions, across public and private lands, and even across state lines. And today, the Lake Plain Partners is comprised of 19 different public agencies and private landowners, all working together to restore and maintain this critical landscape. But we would not have been able to afford to do the kind of work that's been done by the state of Illinois today. And without installing those breakwaters, we wouldn't be able to support that critical habitat that's so necessary for the fish and the plants in that area, which is only going to help, again, with protecting those species, but also tourism as well. So over the past 15 years, more than $10 million has been raised to protect this area, not including the tens of thousands of volunteer hours in this area. And in 2015, in recognition of this remarkable landscape, the Lake Plain was designated, it's called a Ramsar Wetland of International Importance. There is one of only 3 in the United States that crosses state lines. So the importance of this project really cannot be overstated. And I really want to say thank you again to our Lake County delegation, but certainly, of course, Joyce Mason, Mary Edley Allen, our Governor J.B. Pritzker, and really the state of Illinois, our elected officials who voted to invest here in Illinois Beach State Park in this important project. It is a remarkable recognition of the beauty and the diversity and the importance of this landscape and of the power of collaboration. And it's something our residents of Lake County and all of Illinois should be very proud of. And it's now my pleasure to introduce State Representative Joyce Mason. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Joyce Mason, and I proudly represent this area, the 61st House District. I'm so thrilled to welcome you all today. Governor Pritzker, DCEO Director Edwards, IDNR Director Phelps-Finney, thank you for coming. And we're so happy you're here. Governor Pritzker, you are always so generous with your time and your support of our area, and we appreciate your leadership so much. I'm also the member of the Great Lakes St. Lawrence River Legislative Caucus, and it's made up of folks from all of the states that represent areas surrounding the Great Lakes, and also those from Canada who do the same. And a couple of weeks ago, I was at their annual meeting in Duluth, Minnesota, and this project had everyone all abuzz. People from Canada, people from everywhere coming up to me saying, tell me more about what you're doing in Illinois. And I could not have been prouder to be there and share this information. This place, as everyone has said, is incredibly special. But it's very special to me personally. I have great memories of road trips here, camping as a kid, and really, really special memories of raising my kids here, playing right there on the beach in the waves, collecting seashells and rocks and just talking about the world. And it seems like just yesterday that my daughter was out there in her swim diapers almost 25 years ago. And she's gonna kill me for saying that, but a few weeks ago, she and her brand new fiance took their engagement photos right there as well. So this place is so special in my heart. It's also a thinking spot for me. I've spent countless hours sitting out there staring at the waves, looking for the wisdom of the world to tell me what to do, and indeed, also right out there, I made the decision to run for state representative. Yes. Oh, you guys. Sadly, as I watched my kids get bigger on these beaches, I've watched the beaches rapidly getting smaller. I've talked to residents about how roads, bike trails, and even buildings have literally disappeared into the lake due to the erosion. I've seen the expensive temporary fixes of dumping sand in the lake only to see it wash away with a few big storms and causing issues for our friends in Waukegan down the road. Watching that and watching the decades of neglect have been heartbreaking. But now it's a new day and we have these incredible investments in this incredible project. These award-winning investments will be absolutely life-changing for generations to come. And not only will families like mine continue to get to make great memories on the beaches and think big thoughts and ponder the world, these investments will help our economy by encouraging tourism and recreation. The erosion control structures also will serve as very special habitats for aquatic and avian species. These investments will allow educational and research opportunities to continue, whether it's our local school classrooms coming to study something, or the scores of people that come here from around the world to study our very special and unique ecosystems. As Chair Hart mentioned, we have a high number, 63 protected species and protected and endangered species. And if you enjoy plant or bird watching, you could watch the plants too. But if you enjoy bird watching, this is the place to be. Illinois Beach State Park is one of the most beautiful examples of Illinois' natural environment. It's the last remaining natural shoreline. Also, North Point Marina is the largest marina on the shore of Lake Michigan, bigger than those in Chicago. Take that, Chicago. Finally, I want to thank our mayors so much from the bottom of my heart. Mayor McKinney of Zion, Dr. Michael Bruno, and Mayor Hucker, and their teams for their commitment to our communities and to this park. When you have amazing leadership from the governor all the way to our municipal levels, all working together to protect valuable land and our shared values, great things happen for our communities. I've already heard from countless constituents about the times they're spending on the beach already with their families and how amazing it is. And I look forward to continuing to see those families enjoying and growing and to see our ecosystems thriving. And I just want to thank everyone here for making that happen. And now it is my great pleasure to bring our governor, Governor Pritzker, back up to make some final remarks. Thank you.
Happy to take any questions from members of the media. Yeah, Ben.
Another capital project, Stateville Prison. Sounds like most inmates are being moved out by the end of today. What's the next steps in the construction there? Is 3 to 5 years a realistic timeline?
We've asked experts about how long it would take. Remember, you've got to tear down an existing building as well as build on the property. So they've said 3 to 5 years. And, you know, you ask me, I'm not a construction expert, although there seem to be a few in the room today you might want to ask. But so, you know, we think that that's a timeline that will work. And, you know, I'm proud of the Department of Corrections for the speed with which they were able to make the transfers of inmates according to a federal judge's order. And as you know, we just have about 24 or so inmates who are still in the health facilities at Stateville, and you know that's the remainder. Yeah. Yes, sir.
A couple people highlighted sort of the sustainability, like the habitat for various creatures and everything. How is that going to be measured in the long term? And if that's successful, is that going to be something that other breakwater projects in Illinois are going to be seeing?
Well, I have to say this is I mean, I just heard in a meeting that we had just prior to this at how unique this project is. So I think it's a model for other places in the country, and I can't tell you exactly what the long-term effect will be. You've heard some of it from people here at the podium, but I can say that it appears that after a whole lot of years of trying a lot of different things, and not just in this location, but there are other places around the world that they've drawn inspiration from, that this is the most modern and state-of-the-art method of dealing with this challenge. So we're very hopeful that this is a permanent solution, and that one that will preserve the species and help rebuild stocks of species that maybe had diminished significantly. Yeah.
Governor, one more thing. There's a question on the ballot this November about creating a 3% tax on millionaires to help fund property tax relief. Obviously, we have the flat tax and Constitution. Would you support trying to graduate income tax amendment once again?
Well, I think you already know, because I worked very hard to try to do it, that I believe in a graduated income tax. That's what most states have. By the way, the vast majority of states have a graduated income tax system. It works well for them. You know, I think about you know, a state like Minnesota, where it's been very beneficial, as well as many others. So so that is the preferred method, in my view, of how to, you know, organize your tax system. But I know that this is a ballot question that the legislators put on the ballot and allow people to vote on. I think we all believe in lowering property taxes in the state of Illinois, so I can see that it might be one that, you know, is popular among people. But you know, but as far as I'm concerned, graduated income tax is the way to go.